What's up, everybody? This is Dale from Upstate Bets. I'm here with my partner Riaz on a Monday with an 8 game slate for the NBA, and we're pretty excited for this one. We got some pretty solid picks. If this is your first time watching one of our Prize Picks videos, welcome. The channel's been going growing at an awesome rate right now, and we can't thank you guys enough for the support. And if this is your first time ever playing Prize Picks, you can sign up using our promo code Upstate, and that'll give you a free deposit match up to $100. So if you put in 100, you get 100 to play with. So that's pretty much a deal you can't find anywhere. So take advantage of that if you haven't yet. And in Prize Picks, if you don't even really know what it is, basically it's some player props. And you can take a player prop right here, Joel Embiid sitting at 9.5 rebounds. Right here, you can highlight them and see how he's been doing in his last 5 games. And you can take that and you can put that in a flex play or a power play, and you can take the over under and you can string together um, a couple different lines and 10 extra money, or you can do a flex play which will allow you to hit 3 out of the 5, 4 out of the 5, 5 out of the 5, and you can really make some money on the site, especially if you do have the information and you're gathering things. And obviously, nothing's guaranteed, and I want you guys to be responsible for sure. That's number one. And then just have some fun with it, man. So we've been loving Prize Picks, and Prize Picks has been good to us. So without further ado, man, we'll get into the slate. We're gonna talk pretty much each category, and then we're gonna start with the points, and Ria's gonna kick us off here.
Yeah, the first guy I'm going to talk about is DeMar DeRozan. His line's sitting at 23 and a half, and he's just been smashing so far this year. I mean, shooting 50% from the field, 42% from three, which is just pretty crazy to really think about. I know it's early in the season, but still, they got a bunch of games under their belt. And it's nice. Me and Dale touched on this earlier. Is when we see a line under what the guy's been averaging uh, so far this year. I mean, he's averaging almost 27 points a game, and that's just due to shooting the ball just so well. And I like his matchup against Brooklyn. I think he's in a great spot here, and at 23 and a half is a really nice line.
Yeah, I think realistically, like it's nice to target people that are averaging more than what their line is at. DeRozan, he's had a really hot stretch of games. I like him in the spot being just kind of like that, pretty much like that veteran on this team, really, that's going to take charge in this game against this Brooklyn team. I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring game. I like the matchup. Some of the other Bulls guys, I'm not really on as much as I am with DeRozan, so I really like him here. The next guy right next to him is actually James Harden. I'm not really going to highlight him because I'm not necessarily super confident in it, but just to say, just based off the statistics alone, he's only hit over 21 and a half twice this season. It's 10 games throughout the season so far. So I know it just seems like, man, like, Harden's going to get going. He's going to get his feet under him. The shot's going to start falling. Of course, he's going to hit over 21 fantasy points tonight. I mean, over 21 points in general. But it's just like, if you want to go off numbers, like I said, if you take the under there, I don't blame you. So I just wanted to mention that one as well. Above him, also, Seth Curry's in a pretty good spot. I like him when he starts to shoot a little bit more 3 pointers. We saw in the game before last game shooting 8 3 pointers. He got literally like 15 points in like the first half. Maybe it was even like he was scoring like 12 in the first quarter. Like he can get hot and get going quick. I think this is a spot against this Knicks team where they're gonna need his production in the backcourt. So I don't think anyone really scares me in the backcourt there. If Kemba's going to be guarding him, or he can have some D Rose on him, or even RJ Barrett, I really don't think that's a problem matchup wise for him, Seth Curry, in this. So I like him here over 15 too. I like him to. I hope he shoots a little bit more, but I think just based on his game right now and the way he's been playing and the injuries that's been going on with Philly, I like him over 15.
Yeah, I mean, still with Tobias Harris out, he still gets that uptick, a little more run, a little more usage. I love Curry in this spot for sure against the Knicks. Uh, but the last guy I want to talk about is PJ Tucker. He's sitting at four. He's averaging 5 points a game, which is kind of crazy for the amount of minutes he's playing. I mean, he plays right around 20, 25 minutes, and then some games he gets up to 30, even 35 at some point. But it's all about the matchup here, and he's got a nice matchup against Denver. I mean, they're gonna need him for his defense. We know that's like the big reason why he's out there. He's kind of like Jamison Crowder, or not Jamison Crowder, but but Crowder.
Jay Crowder.
Uh, yeah, Jay Crowder. He's just out there for his defense, but we know PJ Tucker can score. It's not like he's gonna score 15, 20 points, but he'll get you 8 points any given night. And I just really like this line at 4.
Yeah, I mean they've had a pretty tough stretch of games, and like obviously tonight is really no slouch either. Um, so I mean he's the type of guy that maybe get a fast break or two. He got to the line last game, which is nice to see. So I don't mind this either. This is a line I was definitely looking at. It's a solid flex play option for sure, man. I mean if you're looking at a couple and you're not super confident for a power play, it's super viable flex play tonight for PJ Tucker at 4. I don't mind that at all. And then one more guy that I'm on is Jimmy Butler at 21 and a half. You take away that game against Boston where they scored like 78 points as a team. He's just been playing really well this season. Obviously, he's not the type of guy that's going to stretch the floor, but he just does it all for this team. This team's rotation looks good. The addition of Lowry has allowed Butler to kind of give up a lot of the ball handling role and just kind of find his lane and find his spots in the defense. And he, like I said, he's a mid range guy. He can get to the line, and he's just an aggressive player. So I really like this 21.5 over here. And like I said, this should be a pretty big game. Miami likes to step up in these bigger games. And right next to him, Jokic. I'm not going to highlight him, but he's been playing very well. And with the news of Michael Porter Jr. being out with the back, um, I like this spot for him too. Some of the other Nuggets guy might get a boost, like Aaron Gordon or Will Barton, but Jokic is definitely the most consistent person on this team. So for a flex play option, I don't mind Jokic either.
Yeah, I definitely like the Jimmy Butler play more than the Jokic, but even with that Boston game where the game was kind of really crappy for the Heat, he still put up 20. So it seems to me, regardless on how the team's playing, Jimmy Butler still gets his points.
And then we'll hop over to rebounds. For me, not much that I'm really on. Particularly like I said, Embiid, he's just that type of guy that's been rebounding the ball very well this season. They're dealing with a lot of injury. So, I mean, last time they played the Knicks, he did not have a great game at all. 14, 6, and 3. I mean, it was just an ugly game. I was all over him and DraftKings, man. Just like thought he was gonna smash. So I'm not saying the same outcome is gonna happen again, but obviously we know that he can go out there and grab 20 rebounds. This is just a solid spot for him. Obviously, ignore the last game against the Knicks. I think that's just an outlier game, so I don't mind him here. And then who do you like, Riaz?
Yeah, I got a couple people that I like here. I like Jared Jackson Jr. He's sitting at 5.5. I know there's Steven Adams, but Jackson, he signed that contract to keep him at Memphis for a while, so he really needs to get going this year. And for kind of a big guy who should be grabbing 10, 11 boards a game, he really hasn't been doing that. But I like the discount at 5.5 here. I mean, this is basically he's averaging around 5.5 boards, and if they do play small here, Jackson moves to the center, which I like a lot here. I mean, I know he's going against Towns, which isn't the best matchup for him, but I think 5.5 is just a little too low for the upside that he has.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. I think there's gonna be a lot of shots being taken in that Minnesota game, so I don't mind that one either.
Yeah, and then I like Will Barton. Uh, he's not on my screen. Oh, there he is. He's at 4. Definitely with Porter being out, he's gonna definitely get more run here. And we saw last game against Houston. I know Houston's not the best rebounding team, but he grabbed 7. I don't think 4 is that much of a stretch for him. I don't think um, that's like out of grass. I just like the line, to be honest with you. Miami is a good rebounding team, but I think with Michael Porter Jr. being out, he's going to take advantage of that run and have a pretty good game. And then the last guy I want to talk about is Bam. I've been on him a lot. Same game, and I love grabbing these guys who are under 10. And we saw before Bam is just grabbing a ton of boards. I mean, 19 against Charlotte. Um, 13 the next game against Dallas. He's had 2 pretty bad games. Rebounding wise, I mean, it's tough going against Rudy Gobert to try to grab a bunch of boards. But 8.5 is a great line for me. I think he's going to get around 10, 11 boards this game, so he should get over this number pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, two outlier games, man. Obviously, the Boston game, you know, we just wish that game never happened because we were on the Heat pretty high on that game too. And then the Utah game, like you said, just tough matchup. Rudy Gobert is one of those guys where he can give anybody trouble in the league. Obviously, an elite defender, and then every game besides that, he's smashed that. So averaging 12 on the season, that's nice to see. Which is just like simply four above um, this 8.5 line. So I don't mind Bam here either. Should be a pretty solid play. So I like him there. Hop over to assists. There's a couple guys here that look enticing. So I mean, Jokic is one guy too. Obviously we know, triple double upside. His playmaking ability is elite. That's pretty much where he started to get his nickname from and his name. Just in this league really. So he, just throwing those, fancy passes as just look like just an unathletic big man. So, um, obviously we know what he is now. So he's definitely elite, and he's an elite playmaker too at his size and his position too. So I don't mind him here at 5.
No, he was one of the guys I really liked when I first gave this um, a look through. Uh, but to stay in the same game, I like Kyle Lowry. He's sitting at 6.5. He's seen him go crazy with assists so far this year. I talked a little bit before on how he's not really the guy they need to score. He's kind of the playmaker, get the ball in the hands to Jimmy Butler, Bam, Duncan Robinson, and definitely Tyler Hero so far this year. So I think that line's a little too low, especially when he's. I mean, he had a couple bad games. He had five, a couple, three, but he's averaging 7.5. I mean, early in the year he was averaging almost 10, so definitely a good spot for Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, I like him in this spot too, man. Just really changing his role from what it was on Toronto. Just really a primary playmaker here. Definitely can score the ball, stretch the floor for sure. But I like this over 6.5. I don't know if there's anyone else here that you wanted to talk about, or if you wanted to move on.
I mean, even though Harden's not scoring the ball that great, I mean that 8.5 line is pretty enticing. We've seen him get there three of the last five, and the other two he was at 8. We know he's a playmaker. I mean, you get the ball to Durant every time coming down, he could definitely get 5, 6 assists just off Durant. So I don't mind that line.
Yeah, he's definitely got like some snipers around him. Joe Harris can get going too, which is some easy points. I mean, easy assists for Harden as well. Harden's pick and roll game is ridiculous. He was running it pretty well with someone like Nicholas Claxton. So he's not playing tonight, but um, Harden, like I said, elite pick and roll player. It was a lot easier for him in that spot for him to get to the line with those kind of bum fouls. So I don't mind Harden there either. Not something I'm definitely going to be targeting in every one of my plays, but I don't mind him either. And then for 3 pointers made, I got 9 guys here on my screen. It's a little shallow. Jordan Poole down here catches my eye a little bit just in terms of volume. We've seen him 7 threes in a game. He started off the season hot, and like I said, just in terms of volume, this game should shoot out realistically against Atlanta. This is the late game. I really like this spot for Poole. I don't mind it for Curry either, but I think Poole, that's just what he does, man. He's out there. He's shooting double-digit 3 pointers. I really like Poole in the spot 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, definitely with no Clay still, he's trying to prove prove to the team that I mean he's pretty viable out there. But really, the only guy I like here is Evan Fournier or Fournier. We saw his first game as a Nick. He went crazy. He made 6 of 13 threes. Cooled off quite a bit since then. He had one more good game against the Pelicans where he shot 5 for 8 from three, but he's shooting right around 40% from three. Um, we talked about it a little bit. If it was 1.5, we would really love it. But I like his matchup here against Philly. He'll probably have Curry on him, and Curry's not the best defender, so I like for them to kind of stretch it out, swing it out to him, get him his looks. I mean, he's shooting about five to seven threes a game. So I mean, shooting 40%, we'd like to see him make around 3 or 4, and I think he gets that done here in this game.
Yeah, he was one of the guys too that I'm kind of on. Will Barnes here, like I said, should be some solid uptick there. As the games progresses, so I don't mind him there. They're probably gonna need his production from deep, and Jokic and Lowry, look decent. But the two that we highlighted are probably some of my favorites. And then that fantasy score, a bunch of guys, huge category. We like to kind of pair these up with dudes that we're taking on the points. So DeMar DeRozan looks solid to me. Awesome stretch of games. Hit this in the last 5 games. Really like him in that spot. I'm always on Edwards. He seems to kind of just get there. I don't mind him there in that spot. Towns is some guy that could smash any given night. Um, you know, it's there's a lot, man. There's a lot to look at and a lot to talk about. So we'll talk about a couple guys. For me, I'm highlighting Butler. I'm back on him. I know his last 2 games don't look good, but we've said it a million times. Um, tough game Boston. Outlier game against Boston. Tough matchup against Utah. But we know what his ceiling is. We know who he is as a player. We know he gets you the intangibles. Great defender. Is gonna pile on some steals, maybe a block or two. He can really get here with ease tonight. I like him there.
Yeah, like you touched on before, I'm definitely on DeRozan. He's sitting at 38 and a half. We could see him just score 38 point or 30 points, and then we only need him to have a couple assists, couple of rebounds, maybe a steal or two for him to hit that. But even if he doesn't get 30 points, he's just been smashing overall. I mean, we've seen him grab 10 boards with 5 assists and score 25 points. So he's just been playing stellar, and I just love riding the hot hand with guys that are just playing well early in the year.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. DeRozan, awesome spot. Some of these Philly point guards, I wouldn't advise you to kind of take a stab at really much of them. I mean, I think I saw Shake Milton on here earlier. He must have popped off, but between Curry, Maxey, Milton, it's just it's a coin flip about who's gonna get. One of them is probably gonna get there and smash realistically, but it's just a matter about who, or they all kind of could just like gracefully just get over that like by 1 or 2 points. So I probably wouldn't touch any of those guys. Brunson's a guy that's been playing really well as of late. We've seen his ceiling. We've seen him hit a ceiling game at 51. He's been playing good. So Lowry's at 31 and a half. We're on him in some other categories. So if you want to kind of string some things together, I don't mind Lowry there either. Hero plays well off the bench. And then for me, another guy I want to highlight here, Trae Young, man. Like I said, we haven't seen him really smash yet this season. This is a spot where he definitely can. I mean, I think him and Curry are just going to have an awesome battle tonight. I think this is pretty much like a must watch game, in my opinion. And, two really good teams, two teams with similar playing styles, realistically, especially in the point guard position. We know how Young can hit it from deep, and I don't have to say anything about Curry, but this is kind of like Young's floor. Obviously we've seen the games with 27, 36, but realistically as a player, and I think as the season progresses, we'll see him. We'll kind of see this go up game by game from 40 and a half, maybe to like hit 44, 45. I think he's just gotten off to not the greatest start. I think we're going to start seeing him hitting his shots a lot more, getting more involved, and they had a little bit of a shorter offseason compared to a couple other teams. So once he gets going, I think it's going to be a really good rest of the season for him. But 40 is one that I'm taking.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said. The two guys I want to touch on, they're in the same game. We've seen the Lakers just give up so many points, so many fantasy points to opposing point guards, and I like Terry Rozier. I mean, we're getting the discount, uh, 10.5 under from Lamelo Ball. We know Lamelo Ball is most probably going to smash, but Rozier's found his shot as of late. I mean, he had 34 fantasy points against the Clippers, so that's just great to see him getting back into midseason form early, coming off the injury, and I just like the matchup. The fact that uh, LeBron's out kind of helps where if Westbrook gets beat, Carmelo Anthony's going to fill in that spot, and he's not really going to give you much help on the defensive end. So with Rozier's speed and the fact that he can just pull it from three, I think he's just in a great spot to get to that 30. And then Carmelo with Anthony Davis being questionable, I could see him missing with his finger injury, and LeBron still being out. 24 and a half definitely seems a little low. We've seen him just go crazy against Houston. He went crazy against OKC. I mean, he might be an older guy, but he's still shooting the ball well. He's a very streaky player. If he gets hot in a game, they'll just keep feeding him. And we know throughout the years, Carmelo has no problem shooting the ball 20, 25 times if he's got the green light. And he'll grab some boards. We've seen those clips where he's yelling at his teammates to get away from him. Uh, so it's going to be a pretty fast paced game. And I think uh, too low for both of these guys in this matchup, especially Carmelo. Um, Getting the uptick with LeBron being out, and then if Davis misses, he's in an awesome spot tonight.
I like Rozier a lot in this matchup. I think if you game log watch, it doesn't do him justice. I think he's just a lot better player than what we've seen so far. I think give it 10 more games in the season. When you're watching the next 10 games, I think realistically you're going to look back on Rozier. This is a really big discount for him. We know what he's capable of. We've seen people on this team take leaps though. Miles Bridges has definitely taken a huge scoring leap, and I do like him in this spot too. I think that he's pretty low at his line, and we know LaMelo Ball. He's going to continuously get better, and he's going to become more prolific as a scorer. So I mean, dude, Rozier, man, I like him in the spot a lot. And then for Melo, like the Lakers are dealing with some injury stuff. Anthony Davis, do I don't know if he's gonna play tonight. I really couldn't tell you, but I know LeBron's out, and Westbrook is playing. So this should be a really fast paced game, like you said. So I like both these guys realistically. Melo should be able to get it going tonight. I like him there too. So. Like I said, there's a lot to talk about here in this category, but you guys have been doing awesome, especially when we don't talk about something. You guys, you know, write something down in the comment section below, and we'll always get back to you. So, definitely feel open to do that. We like to kind of treat this as like a little community, man. So we love all the support. The channel's been growing awesome. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Peace.